Hello, this is Ritis. I want to talk to you today about insomnia. What it is from my perspective and my experience and experience of my clients, what we can do about it and what works. I have heard for years from some of my clients that they struggle with falling asleep, with waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall asleep, being tired, sluggish on the next day. If that lasts for a while, I have noticed that it's always the same pattern in their emotions, is that they have a lot of fear and anxiousness about going to sleep. And they start to get anxious even in the evening because they think like, will I fall asleep tonight? Will I wake up? Will I have enough rest this night? And this tendency, of course, does not help to fall asleep. Then the second thing is anger, frustration. If you wake up or cannot fall asleep for a while, you start to become irritated. You start to become angry. Like, wow, why can't I fall asleep? Or like, shit, I'm not going to feel okay in the morning again. And so it just goes from one to the other, more on the fear side, more on the anger side. And time to time, it's really deep despair, helplessness, hopelessness and stuff, because you have no solution for it. You don't know what to do. So the longer that goes on, the harder for someone is to fall asleep, because they're even more afraid after every time, after every failure of doing that. From my perspective, what it is, why we have trouble falling asleep, and I'm talking from the practical standpoint, because when we shifted that in the client's perceptions, they started having rest and then sleeping restfully and not waking up, or waking up energized and not having trouble because they slept 2 hours shorter. So in my perspective, that is overreacting survival mechanism. As I like to tell, if there are hungry lions walking around you on the perimeter, is it safe to sleep? Obviously, it's not. So if your survival mechanism, if your system believes that there is some sort of danger in your life, you won't sleep. And for many of us, this danger is not physical. This danger is not actually that you will actually die or that there's some threat to your life. But this danger can be emotions. This danger can be a conflict in your family, a conflict at work. This danger can be some things that you forgot to do or have been postponing or procrastinating on, or whatever eats you from inside is usually considered dangerous because it creates some suffering in you. So when this subconsciously is considered a form of danger, and there's a lot of it suppressed, and you try to hold on and not get in touch with it, you might start having all these issues. So what can we do? What does not help? What doesn't help is trying to find a better position, trying to turn on one side or the other, on your stomach, on your back, hugging the pillow or the blanket or whatever. It just doesn't work, because you start moving and moving and moving again, and there is no rest, and it's hard to fall asleep when you're moving, right? You can't fall asleep while running, can you? So all this movement is usually also part of that. But we naturally do that. Why? Because what we experience in the bodies and in the sensations is discomfort. Discomfort of rejection, discomfort of suppression of all those emotions that are unprocessed and that are coming up to get some attention, to be felt, to be experienced. If we allow that to happen, then at first we can get rest, and then we can get sleep. Even though when you learn that you can rest without sleeping, which is also obvious in some traditions of meditation or yoga, there's Nidra Yoga, that if I'm not mistaken, with the translation that I've heard some years ago, that it has one of the versions of it is sleep yoga, basically. So you get more rest while being aware of what is going on with you than by actually sleeping. That's why I say that rest is even more important than sleeping. If you get recharged, if your body feels fine, if your mind, brain, all the cognitive functions are recharged to 100%, do you really care how many hours you have slept? So what we endure when having that, I usually fall asleep easily. I usually have no trouble sleeping, but I have had periods in my life where I had a lot of emotional turmoil, where stuff was transforming in me, through me, and I would wake up. I would wake up in the middle of the night, a few nights in a row, because there was a lot of emotion, unprocessed stuff that was coming up. And because that's what I do, I would lay there, I would watch it, I would meditate, I would let go, and either I would fall back to sleep or I would feel energized and I would continue my day even though I slept 4 hours, and I would feel great. So the simplicity of the method is baffling to the mind, because someone who has been suffering with it, at least for a few weeks or a few months or years, someone who has been using drugs to fall asleep, I've seen so much disbelief that maybe 30 or 50% of the people that actually came to the sessions and asked me for help and I told them what to do didn't do it, because they could they were like, no. Like, it can't be that simple. So my advice, my solution, my experience with many clients that had that, and that half of them or the third of them that actually solved it because they did it, is that what you need to do is lay on your back, make yourself comfortable, like your hands, your legs, like everything must be like okay, because you will be laying there. Okay. Then what you do is not in trying to calm yourself down, not in trying to fall asleep, but you simply put your attention on your sensations in the body. And you allow the attention to move freely. Why I say that is that there is no method system of how you have to watch it, which place is more important than the other. Like whatever draws your attention in the body on the sensation level, you just notice that. Oh, yeah, here. Here. Oh, here. Oh, I have a feeling in my hand. That's fine. If you lay there for a while, you might get distracted into the conversations with people that are not here, that are not happening, into solving your imagined future or solving your past that has already gone. So when you notice that this happens, that's okay. It probably will. You just let it go, like let it happen, and you just come back to the feeling. You're like, oh, I'm talking to the people that are not here, and I'm solving the situations that are not here. Oh, wait, am I still lying in my bed? Yeah, okay. Go back to the feelings. Go back to the sensations in the body. You always have information. You always have your body sending you the signal that you're laying on your back, that there's some pressure, that there's some heat or cold or whatever. So just go back to that level. And it's not about you naming all of them, categorizing them. You just notice that they're there. It's like the same if now I ask you, can you notice that you're sitting? Or if you're not sitting while you're listening to that you're standing or walking. Just like, how do you know? Because some parts of your body are constantly sending you the information that like, oh, there's pressure on my butt. That probably means I'm sitting or laying down. Oh, okay. It's just there. You don't even think about it. You don't even word it the way I word it because there's no need. You know that you sit. So it's the same thing. Go to that level where you don't need to voice it. You don't need to name it. You just watch it happen. So then, if you're laying there, you're watching your sensations. With time, for some it's really fast. For others it will take a while, but you will start feeling discomfort. And part of that discomfort might come in a form of like, oh, my hand is not comfy anymore. I need to fix it. I need to move it. Don't move. Watch the discomfort. Watch the sensation as it happens. Allow the thoughts, if they come up, allow the dialogue of like trying to make the case for moving and making yourself more comfy. Allow that. And when you feel that you reach that level where you might feel like panicking, like your leg gets cramped or your shoulder feels so painful because you didn't move it and it feels stiff and la la la, that your mind goes like, it's gonna fall off. Then you go like, okay, 10 more seconds. Just 10 more seconds. And you stay with it for 10 more seconds. Then you fix yourself, you make yourself comfy, and you go back to the same position. You lay on your back, and you come back to watching your sensations again. Why those 10 seconds? So that every time you meet with that internal dialogue, with that need to move and get out of the discomfort, you stay with it, not like through like, okay, I'm gonna win it. No, but gently and curiously, you're like, okay, I'll watch it for 10 more seconds. If I'll still feel like moving, I will. And that is important, that you don't push it, because you're not sleeping. You pushed yourself too much already. So it's not about pushing hard. It's more about being curious and gentle about it, but also firm in like, there's this ceiling of discomfort. When I reach it, I try to run away from it. And now I'm willing to reach that ceiling and stay with it for 10, 15 more seconds. And then I can step back and go back to it again. What this allows you to do is to become more open to the feelings that were locked inside of your body, that were needing your awareness, your attention, your consciousness there. If you do that, you will regain your energy. Your body will feel rested. Your mind will have the rest, even if you don't sleep. And through that, you will learn that it's not so bad if you got a few hours less sleep, because you're still functioning fully, and that's not an issue. And also, what might happen, what usually happens, it might not happen with you, but it happens with most of the people that do that. There is a point when the tension, when the discomfort rises so much, it feels like going up the hill. But because you did it for a few times, you become more resilient, and you're like, yeah, okay, I can stay with it more. And then it reaches some like peak that's like there's a lot of stuff moving in you, and it suddenly starts to calm down. It's like, and it can go like a heat wave or cold or whatever. Like, it's unpredictable in a sense, but you will feel relief, because all that tension that was suppressed, all those feelings that were needing that attention, they come up. Your unconscious resistance just like tries to stop it, and then it reaches the point where it breaks, and the relief comes. When this happens, usually you either fall asleep or you get the rest. Like, even if you stay awake, you feel like, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. I couldn't care less if I sleep or not. So I've heard that from my clients. I had this myself when I had those unprocessed emotions coming up to me and bugging me in the night, and like, wake up, we're here, now it's time for us. So when this happens, for some, it happens on the first night. I had people like that. Others take a few weeks. Longer, maybe 1 or 2 people took longer. 3, maybe 4 weeks, till they felt like, yeah, you know what? I'm resting. I'm not afraid anymore to go to sleep. I'm not anxious about it, because I have this experience night over night that I'm okay. And I don't have an English translation of that, but I will show you and read you a little what one of my Lithuanian clients said. It was end of July, beginning of August, something like that. She had this for 3 months, the insomnia, and the first message says that, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I worked on my sensations. It's awesome. Good morning. And I'm like, okay, good morning. What happened? And so the first thing that is very important for her was that she, after we talked and released in the session, she went to sleep without pills. For her, that was a big step. She fell asleep. She woke up at 4 a.m. Her right side of the body was hurting, painful. She felt a lot of sensations there in the neck, in the head. In the hands, and she was really like scared of just like feeling herself that intensely. But then she spent the time and just watched the sensations and how they changed and fluctuated and stuff. And at some point, her mind came in and said like, okay, I accept everything which I have suppressed, and I accept my shadows and what I didn't want to see. I accept all of me. And so she invited all the parts back. And the flow of energy, like the wave of energy, happened through her, and she felt one and joy, oneness and joy. And like she says, as though all the nations would dance together. And it all took her an hour and 20 minutes to go through all of that. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's comfortable. That's why I talked for all of this time, so that your mind, when listening to that, was like, okay, maybe I can try it, because it won't be comfortable. But I know that it works. And I really wish for you, if you're watching this video and having this issue, to really try it and to give it your best, and to give time and be gentle in caring to yourself, and allow yourself a few days, a week, to just play with it and see if it helps you. Because if you get your rest back, if you get your energy back, your days will change, your feelings will change, you will feel different, and you might get back your sleep in a while. And that is probably what you're looking for. So if you want to have more peace and end the inner conflict and war with yourself, with your feelings, with your emotions, with your past, with people inside in your life, somewhere in the description of this video, depending on where you're seeing it, on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever else it will be, in the description you will find the link where you can find more information on how you can learn the practical tools to help yourself. I wish you good rest, and I hope you find what you're looking for.